After 1,000 years, he finally came home, but everything he loved was already gone. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Wang Lin gazed upon everything before him. Then he took a single step. With that step, his figure vanished completely. When he reappeared, he was already within the wall. At that moment, the sun had set. Night spread across the earth. Wang Lin looked silently at the scene before him, especially the tomb constructed by later generations, and slowly knelt down. Without realizing it, 2 streams of tears slipped from his eyes. "Dad, Mom, Taiju has come home." The tears fell freely. In his eyes, longing and sorrow intertwined, wrapping around him like a silent shroud. He knelt there unmoving, as though time itself had stretched into eternity. Tarshan and the big-headed boy stood nearby. Tarshan's gaze remained cold as ever. Yet the big-headed boy, watching everything unfold, revealed a complicated expression. At first, he did not know where this place was. But after seeing Wang Lin's actions, he understood. This was Xu Mu's ancestral home. The big-headed boy had never known familial affection. Yet at this moment, he could not help but recall fragments of his own childhood. Wang Lin's gaze fell upon the token on the tomb. After a long time, he slowly rose. His eyes moved toward the surrounding houses. It felt as though he had returned 1,000 years into the past, back to the most precious memories of his life. He pushed open the courtyard door. It creaked softly. Nothing inside had changed. The table was still there. Only the people were gone. Faintly, Wang Lin seemed to hear echoes from 1,000 years ago. "Taija, how are your studies going? Teacher, you must study well. Next year is the imperial examination. It will decide your future. Don't end up like your father, trapped in this village all your life." Sigh. "That's enough. You nag him about this every day. I believe our Taiju will surely pass. Taiju, your 4th uncle, is a good man. Over the years, it's thanks to him that your father's wood carvings could be sold. If you succeed in the future, don't forget to repay him." A deep sorrow spread from Wang Lin's body. He stepped into the courtyard, into the home he had left behind for hundreds of years. After opening the door, though his appearance was still that of a youth, he carried the aura of endless ages. Like an old man returning after a lifetime away, he reached out and gently touched everything around him. When his hand brushed the wall scenes of his childhood, flickered through his mind. The sorrow in his heart deepened. The longing for his parents surged, filling every corner of his being. He asked Tarshan and the big-headed boy to remain outside. Alone, he sat within the ancestral home. He felt the lingering aura of the place. For a time, he forgot the cultivation world entirely. Only memories remained, memories of joy of growing up under his parents' love. Silence enveloped everything. Within that silence, his heart underwent a quiet baptism. Childhood memories surfaced one by one as he sat there alone. At times, a faint smile appeared on his face. At times, sorrow took its place. No one else could share these memories. He could only recall them by himself. His happiness was lonely. His smile carried a silent grief. Tears slid from the corners of his eyes, falling to the ground like traces of the past. The moonlight gradually faded. Dawn arrived, dispersing the darkness. Sunlight spread across the land, illuminating Wang Ancestral City. As the light entered through the window, Wang Lin slowly awakened from his memories. He looked around deeply, then stood and walked out. Tarshan had stood there the entire night, unmoving. The big-headed boy's expression had grown even more complex. He had spent the night immersed in memories of his own painful childhood. Strangely, those memories no longer brought the same sharp pain. Instead, there was a faint sense of release. What he thought of most was his mother, who had always looked down on him. Before, this memory was unbearable. Now it had softened. Wang Lin and the others did not conceal themselves. As dawn broke, their presence was immediately noticed by the soldiers outside the wall. Cries of alarm rang out. Soldiers gathered rapidly, their killing intent locking onto the 3 as though facing a formidable enemy. At the same time, more than 10 cultivators arrived, ranging from foundation establishment to soul formation. Their divine senses swept forward, locking firmly onto Wang Lin's group. An angry roar echoed from beyond the wall. "Bold intruders! You dare trespass into the Wang ancestral home. Do you know this is a crime punishable by extermination of your entire clan?" Sword light flashed across the sky as the cultivators descended. Their expressions were filled with genuine fury. "For the three of you to enter undetected, you must be cultivators. No matter which sect you belong to, were you not warned? Aside from members of the Wang family, no one is permitted to take even half a step inside." The speaker was an old man at the soul formation stage. Tarshan remained expressionless, not even glancing at them. The big-headed boy merely rolled his eyes, saying nothing. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze from his parents' grave. He looked at the group of cultivators and asked calmly, "Who built this grave?" His voice was flat, yet when it entered the ears of the cultivators, it was like the descent of heavenly might. A crushing pressure filled their hearts, leaving them unable to resist. The feeling came suddenly. The cultivators' expressions changed drastically. The soul formation old man's face turned pale. Having formed his own domain, his perception was sharper. He felt as though his domain was being devoured. It was as if an invisible force compelled him to answer. If he refused, he felt he would collapse instantly. He staggered back a few steps, his voice trembling. This was built by the mortal royal family. It is the ancestral home of the Wang family, and also the childhood home of Suzaku's ancestor. As he spoke, he looked at Wang Lin. A strange sense of familiarity stirred within him. Yet no matter how he tried, he could not recall. "Wang family," Wang Lin murmured softly. He glanced once more at the grave, then turned preparing to leave with Tarshan and the big-headed boy. But at that moment, thunder rumbled in the distance. Dark clouds surged forward. From within them came an enraged roar. "You have quite the nerve. You dare trespass into the Wang ancestral home. My Xuandao sect has guarded this place for generations. By stepping here, you disregard our existence." A figure stepped out from the clouds, white-haired, sharp-eyed. As he appeared, the aura of an early-stage soul transformation cultivator spread outward. The surrounding cultivators immediately showed respect. Clearly his prestige here was immense. Xuandao sect, Wang Lin's gaze softened slightly. He nodded and spoke calmly. "Since you have reached soul transformation, has the country of Zhao advanced to rank 5? The old man, still brimming with anger, was startled. He frowned. "My Zhao country became a rank 5 cultivation nation 300 years ago. This is common knowledge across Suzaku. Who are you?" Yet as he looked at Wang Lin, that strange familiarity deepened. "Rank 5? Wang Lin lowered his gaze to the earth. A trace of satisfaction appeared. When he left, Zhao had only been rank 3. Now, in just a few hundred years, it had reached rank 5. He looked back at the old man, observing carefully. Soon he detected a faint aura, an aura that belonged to himself. He remembered. When he had reached the soul formation stage, he had left behind 10 spirit seeds. This old man was one of them. Wang Lin smiled faintly. "Over the years, has your Xianxia sect been guarding this place? Are these cultivators all your disciples?" The old man frowned, studying Wang Lin's group. For reasons he could not explain, his anger faded, replaced by an inexplicable sense of closeness. After a moment's hesitation, he answered, "Not only my sect. From time to time, different sects from Suzaku take turns guarding this place. Those who come are either highly respected or possess exceptional talent destined to be nurtured. Guarding the Wang ancestral home is a great honor for all cultivators of Suzaku." Even he did not understand why he was explaining so much. Wang Lin's gaze swept across the cultivators. Each of them indeed possessed outstanding talent. With his experience, he immediately knew the old man spoke the truth. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin sighed softly. Emotion stirred within him. "Thank you, all of you." He waved his sleeve. Origin energy condensed into small crystals, falling upon each cultivator. Even the fallen soldiers were not spared. The cultivators were startled. Warmth spread through their bodies. Their expressions turned strange. "You..." The soul transformation old man was shaken. The sense of familiarity grew stronger. You have done well. My spirit seed was not given in vain." As Wang Lin spoke, he turned and left. Tarshan and the big-headed boy followed. The three vanished into the horizon. Spirit seed. Spirit. The old man's body trembled violently. Realization struck like lightning. His face lit with excitement not seen in hundreds of years. Ancestor of the Wang family. His shout echoed. The surrounding cultivators were shaken. Excitement surged through them as they stared toward the direction Wang Lin had disappeared. He is the Wang family ancestor, the guardian of Suzaku, the greatest figure in countless years. Wang family ancestor, Wang Lin. Wang Lin needed only a brief moment of thought to understand why the cultivators of planet Suzaku held him in such deep reverence. Zhu Wutai must have played a decisive role in all of this. In truth, it was exactly as Wang Lin had surmised. The big-eared cultivator Zhou Wutai had always been grateful to Wang Lin for granting him the position of Suzaku. Yet after Wang Lin departed, he never found an opportunity to repay that favor. Zhou Wutai was a man who valued gratitude. He never forgot what Wang Lin had done for him. Thus, whether it was Wang Lin's descendants, the sect he had left behind, or even the country of Zhao, all of them gradually rose in strength under Zhou Wutai's careful protection, with Zhou Wutai's status as the new Suzaku elevating the Wang family to royal status was an effortless matter. Under his influence, the country of Zhao steadily grew stronger until it became a rank 5 cultivation nation. Naturally, everyone understood that all of this was done for Wang Lin's sake. His deeds within the Suzaku tomb had spread far and wide. Over time, Zhou Wutai subtly guided all cultivators to accept Wang Lin as the guardian and ancestral figure of planet Suzaku. There was, however, another reason behind Zhou Wutai's actions. When he first became Suzaku, his cultivation had only reached the soul transformation stage. He had not even stepped into Ascendant. He was the weakest Suzaku in history, lacking the authority to command all. Thus, he could only rely on Wang Lin's reputation to suppress the rest. As Wang Lin pondered, though he could not discern every detail, he grasped the general picture. He let out a faint sigh. Regardless of Zhou Wutai's reasons, this was a debt he would one day repay. As he flew onward, Tarshan and the big-headed boy followed closely behind. Tarshan's expression remained cold and unmoving the entire time. The big-headed boy, however, felt a growing complexity within his heart. Seeing Wang Lin return home stirred something deep inside him. He could clearly see that everyone here respected Xu Mu with genuine sincerity from the depths of their souls. The boy knew that if he returned to his own family with his current cultivation, he too would be treated with respect. Yet he also knew that such respect would be hollow, mere pretense. In the distance, a vast city emerged. It lay coiled like a dragon, radiating wealth and grandeur. Its towering walls were forged from black stone, and faint ripples of spell formations pulsed across their surface. Even before drawing near, Wang Lin could sense the countless powerful restrictions embedded within the city. There were simply too many. If they were all activated at once, even ascendant cultivators would face a certain degree of danger. This was the only mortal imperial capital on planet Suzaku, outside the lands occupied by the forsaken immortal clan, the Great Wang dynasty. Founded 437 years ago, it had risen to become the most prominent mortal power, second only to the forsaken immortal clan. The Wang imperial lineage possessed a long and enduring history. Over more than 4 centuries of consolidation, the dynasty had amassed vast armies. Countless martial artists had joined its ranks. Yet what truly elevated its power was the sheer number of cultivators under its banner. With the Cloud Sky sect, Zhou Wutai, and numerous other sects standing behind it, the Wang clan enjoyed an unparalleled status. Wang Lin's divine sense spread across the entire planet. Guided by the pull of his bloodline, he arrived here. Within this capital, the concentration of Wang family bloodline was the strongest. Yet when his divine sense swept through, he did not find Wang Zhuo. He sighed softly. Then his figure vanished. When he reappeared, he stood within the imperial palace. As he gazed upon the bustling crowds, and the extravagant structures, his brows slowly furrowed. This capital was excessively luxurious. The roads were paved with precious blue and white stones. As his divine sense extended further, he discovered that the entire city was built in this same lavish manner. If it were only this, it would not have concerned him. But even the surrounding trees were wrapped in silk. Though it appeared splendid, it was in truth nothing more than decadence. At his current level of cultivation, Wang Lin could perceive things others could not. He could sense sorrow, anger, fear, countless emotions that seeped into the air and disturbed the mind. Anyone who lived here for too long would gradually change. Their temperament would become unstable. Their lifespan would even be shortened. This aura was resentment. Wang Lin had once deliberately gathered such resentment on planet Qingling. Now, seeing the monstrous accumulation of it above this capital, his frown deepened. As his divine sense continued to spread, he discovered that many cities bore varying degrees of this resentment. It covered nearly half of planet Suzaku. This resentment rose from the homes of every village gathering where mortals lived, lingering without ever dispersing. Most notably in the northwest, the soil had turned crimson. Corpses lay scattered everywhere. An immense tide of resentment surged from that region, spreading outward. Compared to that, the resentment within other cities was merely strong, yet here in the capital, it had formed a towering demonic flame that pierced the heavens. Only someone at Wang Lin's level could perceive such a thing, and only through deliberate observation. For cultivators of lesser realms, it would remain completely undetectable. Absurd. Wang Lin's expression darkened as he walked through the streets. He had once felt pleased to see his descendants prosper. Yet this prosperity was built upon resentment. It was corroding the very bloodline of the Wang family. If that was the cost, then such wealth had no value. As he walked, the distant thunder of hooves echoed through the streets. Panic spread among the pedestrians as they hurriedly retreated to the sides. Wang Lin frowned, stepping back slightly as he turned to look. Several large horses galloped forward, ridden by a group of young men. Behind them followed a number of servants, all running at a speed equal to the horses. The youths wore ornate clothing. The one at the front was strikingly handsome, yet a thick black aura coiled around his face. Even an ascendant cultivator would struggle to perceive it, but to Wang Lin it was unmistakable. Above them, two streaks of swordlight cut through the air. Two Foundation establishment cultivators stood upon flying swords, clearing the path ahead. Their arrogance alone would not have drawn Wang Lin's attention. What made him frown was the rope tied to the lead horse. At its end was a person. The man was in a wretched state, his form barely recognizable. His clothes were torn to shreds. His body was drenched in blood as he was dragged across the ground, leaving behind a long, crimson trail like cinnabar smeared across the earth. The group passed swiftly, their laughter echoing in the air. The martial artists rushed by. The two cultivators flew past without even sparing a glance. Soon after, soldiers arrived to clean the bloodstains. They moved quickly, following the trail, erasing every trace. Only after all had left did the surrounding crowd slowly return to normal, their murmurs rising. Ah, such terrible luck. Who was it this time that dared offend the 16th prince? I fear he'll be dragged around the capital before he's even allowed to die. No one would dare provoke the Wang family. In this great Wang dynasty, they are the heavens themselves. Even immortals serve them. Say no more. A few months ago, the national teacher observed the night sky and saw a vicious omen from the northwest. Hundreds of thousands were slaughtered. Even now, the land there is covered in corpses. We shouldn't speak of this. Brother Li changed the subject, lest disaster fall upon us. Wang Lin's expression turned extremely cold. He had clearly seen it. The young man carried the bloodline of the Wang family. His voice was calm, yet carried an icy edge. Tarshan, bring him here. Without a word, Tarshan turned and vanished. Moments later, he returned, gripping a figure in his hand. It was the arrogant youth. Terror filled the youth's eyes as he struggled and shouted, his voice laced with fury. You dare seize me? Which sect are you from? Do you know who I am? I am a member of the Wang family. Tarshan's face remained expressionless. He stepped forward and casually threw the youth onto the ground. The surrounding crowd froze in shock, then scattered in fear, not daring to linger. The youth scrambled to his feet, his expression twisted with rage. Though fear flickered deep within his eyes, he masked it with bluster. "I am of the Wang family. You dare harm me. No matter your sect, you are dead." Wang Lin looked at him coldly. From the youth's head, dense black gas surged forth. It formed into the shape of a snake opening its jaws in a silent, furious roar toward Tarshan. Those below the second step of cultivation would not perceive it. They would only feel an icy chill erupt from the youth, causing their hearts to tremble. At that moment, shouts rang out from afar. The group that had left came charging back, cutting through the streets with killing intent. 2 streaks of swordlight led the charge, followed by servants and martial artists. Several youths on horseback shouted fiercely, "Seize that thief! An assassin! Protect the prince!" The 2 cultivators struck first, their swords aimed directly at Tarshan. They had acted without hesitation. Only after did they realize the prince was gone. Panic seized them. Turning back, they saw Tarshan standing there, the prince already thrown to the ground. Their hearts trembled. They were disciples of the Cloud Sky sect, assigned to guard the princes. If anything happened to the prince, they would face severe punishment upon returning to the sect. Without another thought, they charged forward, swords pointed straight at Tarshan. Tarshan's expression was cold. He lifted his hand with casual ease, as if brushing away dust. A violent gust of wind surged forth, scattering the incoming sword energies. The flying swords trembled, then collapsed mid-air. The 2 cultivators felt an overwhelming force crash into them. It was something they could not comprehend. Blood sprayed from their mouths as they were hurled backward. The martial artists rushing forward fared no better. It was as though they had slammed into an invisible wall. One after another, they coughed up blood and were forced back. No one was spared. Tarshan did not kill them. With a single wave, he merely injured the 2 cultivators and repelled the rest. When the youth witnessed this, his heart jolted. Shock flashed across his face, but it was quickly replaced by savage fury. "I am a member of the Wang family," he roared. "You dare harm my men. You are all dead." Wang Lin raised his right hand. He struck. There was no cultivation in the motion. It was a simple slap like that of an ordinary mortal. The youth was not a cultivator. Even the slightest use of power would have shattered every bone in his body. Even so, the youth was sent flying. His face swelled instantly, every tooth in his mouth shattered. Yet what Wang Lin struck was not only the youth. There was also the black snake. The creature was exceedingly strange. The instant the slap landed, it vanished, yet in the next moment it reformed. It slipped out from the youth's body and lunged toward Wang Lin, its intent to devour. Only Tarshan and the big-headed boy could see it clearly. To the others behind Wang Lin, there was only a sudden chill in the wind. "I want to see who dares use my Wang clan to nurture resentful spirits," Wang Lin said coldly. Rage burned beneath his calm. With his cultivation, he could tell at a glance. The youth's soul had already been devoured and replaced by this resentful entity. As the snake rushed forward, Wang Lin lifted his hand and pointed. Under that single finger, terror filled the snake's eyes. It tried to retreat. Too late. With a sharp explosion, it burst apart. Its body turned into a cloud of black mist, which Wang Lin seized in his grasp. His hand tightened. The mist condensed, compressed, and finally became a black rune. Once the black snake was gone, the youth's body trembled violently. He coughed up a large mouthful of blood. The ferocity in his expression disappeared. In its place was confusion. His soul had already been devoured. His eyes grew dim, lifeless, devoid of light. The surroundings fell into complete silence, but only for an instant. Then came screams. Panic spread through the crowd. People fled in all directions as fast as they could. In a short time, not a single person remained. Wang Lin's gaze turned colder. When his divine sense spread outward, nothing seemed amiss. But upon closer inspection, he understood. Someone was using members of the Wang family as vessels to nurture resentful spirits. He had heard of such techniques before. It was similar to refining a sword. A living person was used as a spirit vessel, absorbing resentment. When enough resentment gathered, its power became formidable. Coupled with the monstrous resentment hanging over the capital, Wang Lin could already imagine it. Someone was controlling everything from the shadows. The greater the resentment, the stronger the resentful spirits would become. His anger deepened. His eyes turned even colder. With a flick of his hand, he cast the black rune forward. It drifted ahead on its own, as if guided by an unseen force. Wang Lin clasped his hands behind his back and followed. Tarshan and the big-headed boy stayed close behind. A prince had been killed within the capital. Such a matter could not remain unnoticed. Before long, streaks of swordlight shot across the sky, converging from all directions. Cultivators from various sects of Suzaku rode upon those sword energies. Their gazes were sharp like lightning. Without a word, they launched their magical treasures toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression did not change. He waved his sleeve. Every magical treasure was blasted away. The cultivators riding their swords cried out in alarm. The wind seized them, dragging them helplessly backward. In the blink of an eye, they were thrown 5,000 kilometers away. What kind of spell is this? That man. He looked familiar. Their expressions changed drastically. Fear filled their hearts. Not one of them dared approach again. They turned and fled, rushing back toward their respective sects. Wang Lin remained cold. His anger had not diminished in the slightest. As he advanced toward the imperial palace, countless soldiers rushed forward to intercept him. He did not wish to harm them. With another sweep of his sleeve, they were sent tens of thousands of kilometers away. Step by step, he drew closer to the palace. Inside the main hall, a middle-aged man sat upon the throne clad in a dragon robe. His expression was dark and oppressive. Beside him stood a noble and beautiful woman in a vibrant dress. Yet within her eyes lingered black mist, and a trace of unease flickered within. Around them stood numerous members of the Wang family, dressed in fine silk. Their faces were grim as they stared forward. Outside, the hall formations of soldiers filled the square prepared for battle. Killing intent saturated the air. The middle-aged man suddenly hurled an ink slab aside. "What kind of person dares kill within my great Wang dynasty?" He shouted. "Have you discovered which sect he belongs to?" Silence answered him. After a moment, a white-haired cultivator stepped forward hesitantly. "There are 3 of them," he said. "Their strength is extraordinary. They are likely senior cultivators of high level. As for their sect, we are still investigating." The emperor's expression grew darker. He let out a cold laugh. "It seems my Wang family has been too quiet on Suzaku. Even nameless nobodies dare provoke us. Where is the national teacher?" Before his words had faded, laughter echoed through the palace. "My lord need not worry. My disciples will handle this." Black gas gathered above the square, condensing rapidly. In an instant, 3 figures took shape, 2 men and 1 woman, all shrouded in dark mist. They appeared young. They did not even glance toward the palace. Their bodies dissolved into streams of black gas and shot outward. Meanwhile, Wang Lin continued forward. The rune ahead of him grew denser, more solid. He had reached the gates of the imperial palace. Within, countless soldiers stood ready, their expressions tense as they stared at him. At that moment, the 3 streams of black gas arrived. They charged directly toward Wang Lin. Before they even reached him, a suffocating pressure descended. Ghostly wails echoed between heaven and earth. Wang Lin saw through them instantly. Their cultivation was not high only at the soul transformation stage. Yet their attacks carried power nearing the ascendant level. There was no Wang family bloodline within their bodies, only endless resentment. They were refined, resentful spirits. Killing intent surged in Wang Lin's eyes. He stepped forward. In that single step, he appeared before them. His fingers formed a sword. Without hesitation, he pointed at one of them. He was too fast. His finger landed on the man's shoulder. At that instant, his early-stage Nirvana Scryer origin energy surged forth, flooding into the man's body. The body trembled violently. Then it collapsed. It turned into black gas, attempting to escape, but it was too late. In his fury, Wang Lin's attack destroyed not only the form, but the root itself. As the spirit fled, it exploded, leaving behind only faint remnants of resentment that slowly dissipated. All of this happened in an instant. To the remaining two, it seemed as if Wang Lin had merely taken a step and raised his hand, yet one of their companions had already been annihilated. Fear appeared in their eyes. Wang Lin did not pause. His left hand struck the void. A violent tremor erupted, forming a storm. The storm swept forward, engulfing another spirit. Its body collapsed and perished immediately. Two were killed in succession. Wang Lin turned. Thunder filled his gaze. The last woman trembled. Lightning erupted within her body. She exploded. Wang Lin's expression grew even colder. He stepped into the air and advanced toward the palace. Walking upon the sky, he entered the imperial grounds and arrived above the royal court. Below him were the soldiers in the square, and within the hall the Wang descendants. Many cultivators stood to the side. Their eyes were filled with killing intent, yet none dared move. They could not see through Wang Lin's cultivation, but they all understood those three disciples of the national teacher could not be killed so easily. Fear gripped them. Wang Lin stood in the air above the square. His gaze swept across everyone below. "Very good," he said coldly. "You have done very well." He saw hundreds of Wang clan members, but not all. Among them, nearly all bore traces of black gas between their brows. Only the man in the dragon robe was different. There was no such mark upon him. As for the woman beside him, the black mist in her eyes had vanished. She showed no sign of cultivation. By all appearances, she was an ordinary mortal. Wang Lin's voice spread like a winter wind. It pierced into the minds of everyone present, causing their hearts to tremble. When the emperor saw him, he was startled. Shock filled his eyes. But in the next instant, that shock turned into killing intent. By order of the Wang family, he shouted, "Kill this man." Almost the instant the man's shout rang out, a deep rumble surged from beneath the square. The earth trembled. Cracks split across the ground, and from within them 8 elderly figures burst forth. Each of the 8 exuded an ancient aura. The moment they appeared, their gazes locked onto Wang Lin. Without the slightest hesitation, they charged forward. The fury in Wang Lin's eyes deepened. Between the brows of the 8 elders lingered strands of black gas. Yet within that darkness, a faint golden glow protected their souls. Wang Lin stepped forward. He raised a finger and pointed ahead. 8 strands of black and white gas shot forth, each one streaking toward an elder. The moment the gas wrapped around them, it erupted. In an instant, it shattered the black gas between their brows. The elders trembled violently. Clarity returned to their eyes. The first thing they saw was Wang Lin filled with anger. Their bodies shook. One of them cried out in disbelief, "Ancestor Wang Lin." The other 7 revealed expressions of uncontrollable excitement. Below them, an uproar exploded. The surrounding cultivators were shaken to the core. Their expressions shifted drastically, disbelief written across their faces. As for the Wang family members, their reactions were strange. Only a few showed excitement. Most were uncertain, even conflicted. At that moment, the vast black mist released by the old man gathered together. It twisted and condensed, forming a massive python hundreds of feet long. With a deafening roar, it lunged at Wang Lin. This time, Taishan stepped forward. He threw a single punch. The impact thundered like the heavens collapsing. The python shattered instantly, its form collapsing into nothingness. Taishan withdrew his fist and returned to Wang Lin's side. From beginning to end, his expression remained cold and unmoved. Killing intent flickered through Wang Lin's eyes. He raised his right hand and pressed downward. The earth roared. A terrifying force slammed into the ground. From within a deep pit, a figure was blasted upward into the air. The man's upper body was bare. His long hair streamed wildly behind him. The moment he saw Wang Lin, his pupils shrank. "You dare to raise resentful spirits within the descendants of my Wang family. You deserve death." Wang Lin's voice was icy. He stepped forward. Thunder gathered along his right arm and surged toward the man. The man's expression changed drastically. He had believed his concealment flawless, yet he had still been exposed. Panic surged within him as he retreated rapidly. His cultivation far surpassed anyone on planet Suzaku. He had reached the illusory yin stage, and yet at this moment his heart trembled. He glanced back toward the hall. His gaze fell upon the woman in colorful robes beside the middle-aged man. The woman's eyes were cold. When she saw Wang Lin attack, she let out a silent snort. She raised her right hand, preparing to cast a spell. But at that very instant, as Wang Lin advanced, ripples appeared beneath his feet. His figure vanished. The sudden disappearance startled the man. Then his eyes lit up with opportunity. Without hesitation, he turned and fled. Tashan's eyes turned icy. He was about to give chase, but someone moved faster. The big-headed boy, wearing a foolish grin, had already rushed forward in pursuit. As for the woman in colorful robes, she too was startled. Then her expression changed drastically. She charged forward, but it was already too late. Wang Lin's figure appeared inside the hall right beside her. Thunder flickered within his eyes. He pointed forward in fury. Countless bolts of heavenly thunder seemed to pierce through the void, gathering at his fingertip through an incomprehensible method. That finger descended. It struck the center of her back. Her body trembled violently. Blood burst from her mouth. Above her head, a massive python coiled into existence. Yet the moment it appeared, it collapsed. Her face turned deathly pale. Just as the thunder was about to annihilate her body and origin soul, a clear phoenix cry echoed. A five-colored phoenix manifested, blocking the thunder in her stead. She retreated rapidly, attempting to cast another spell. But Wang Lin was faster. He appeared beside her again. His thunder-infused finger descended once more. Thunder roared. She coughed up more blood. The phoenix trembled violently. She continued retreating, but her speed could not compare to Wang Lin's. In a flash, Wang Lin moved like a ghost. He struck 4 times. Each strike landed without mercy. Her body shook uncontrollably. The relentless attacks left her gravely injured with no chance to retaliate. The final strike caused the phoenix to release a sorrowful cry before collapsing completely. Her eyes filled with alarm. "I am one of the 7 phoenixes of planet Fengluan. Do you dare to kill me?" Her voice was sharp, filled with both anger and fear. Wang Lin did not stop. In a single step, he appeared beside her once more. Killing intent surged in his eyes. He raised his right hand. Black and white gas coiled around his fingers as he pressed them down onto her right shoulder. The gas surged into her body. Her form trembled and collapsed instantly. Her origin soul attempted to flee, but it was sealed by the black and white gas and dragged directly before Wang Lin. Without hesitation, Wang Lin pressed his hand onto her origin soul and performed a soul search. Her screams of agony echoed endlessly. Wang Lin tore through her memories. The more he saw, the colder his expression became. By the end, his gaze was icy to the extreme. Without mercy, he crushed her origin soul. It shattered into origin energy, which he immediately devoured. From the very beginning, Wang Lin had sensed something was wrong with her. Though she tried to conceal her cultivation, he had clearly seen that she was at the corporeal yang stage. If not for the phoenix spirit protecting her, a single thunderstrike would have been enough to kill her. There were many members of the Wang family present. Wang Lin had already noticed that the black gas within them was connected to her hand. She controlled their lives. Otherwise, the moment he appeared, he would have killed her directly rather than forcing out the hidden man and striking while she was distracted. The moment she died, several members of the Wang family coughed up blood. Their eyes dimmed, and they collapsed lifeless. As for the rest, the black mist dissipated from their bodies. Clarity returned to their minds. They looked at Wang Lin, excitement filling their eyes. Then one by one they knelt, shame written across their faces. From childhood, every member of the Wang family had been taught before a portrait of their ancestor. Wang Lin's appearance had been engraved into their hearts. Now that their minds were clear, they recognized him instantly. He was not a stranger. His legend had long spread across the land. The reason so many cultivators gathered within the great Wang dynasty. was because the Wang family had produced Wang Lin. Ancestor, we were wrong. The 8 elders knelt on the ground, their voices trembling. Wang Lin's gaze shifted to the main hall. It fell upon the middle-aged man who was also kneeling. You were indeed wrong, Wang Lin said coldly. You could not even distinguish whether someone belonged to the Wang family. The middle-aged man's expression changed drastically. Wang Lin let out a cold snort. That snort was like thunder echoing endlessly. The middle-aged man was instantly knocked unconscious. Wang Lin's words shocked every member of the Wang family. Their expressions darkened as they stared at the unconscious man. After a moment, Wang Lin let out a faint sigh. He turned to the surrounding cultivators, clasped his hands, and spoke calmly. Fellow cultivators, I thank you for taking care of my Wang family over the years. They hurriedly returned the gesture, their attitudes respectful. After making a few arrangements, Wang Lin released his divine sense. It spread outward, sweeping across everything. He confirmed that no one else from planet Feng Luan remained. He turned to the kneeling elder. I will leave this place to you. I will return in several days. His eyes were cold. From the woman's memories, he had learned much. There were matters that needed to be resolved. Planet Feng Luan, Corpse Sect. You dare set your sights on my descendants? Wang Lin's eyes burned with killing intent. Do not blame me for being merciless. This time he was truly enraged. From the woman's memories, he learned that she was indeed one of the 7 phoenixes. But at the same time, she was also a member of the Corpse Sect. She had been sent here as the head elder, holding the same position as Sun Tai, but her cultivation was far higher. The Corpse Sect. Before his death, Sun Tai had revealed certain secrets, gathering resentment, nurturing resentful spirits. These were among the sect's practices. From her memories, Wang Lin discovered that within the great Wang dynasty, nearly every city contained members of the Corpse Sect. They formed a vast net covering the entire dynasty. They constantly created resentment and harvested it to nourish resentful spirits. What Wang Lin intended to do was erase them completely, not just within the great Wang dynasty. He would uproot the entire Corpse Sect from planet Suzaku, and because of what they had done to his descendants, he would personally visit the Corpse Sect. The giant corpse, the faint divine sense. These were things that intrigued him. He only wondered, after hundreds of years, did that body of the giant demon clan still remain? In the distance, the big-headed boy returned, dragging a man in his hand. A foolish grin spread across his face as he looked at Wang Lin. Kill him. Bring me the origin soul. Wang Lin's expression remained cold as he stepped toward the horizon. Tarshan followed closely behind. The big-headed cultivator licked his lips. His hand tightened. The man's head exploded. Holding the origin soul, he quickly followed after Wang Lin. With Wang Lin's return, a tremendous upheaval had begun on planet Suzaku. The 5 great cities, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, lay closest to the imperial capital. They formed a vast ring within 50,000 kilometers, each one garrisoned by immense armies. With Wang Lin's speed, distance held no meaning. In a single step, he arrived above the metal city. Compared to the capital, it was slightly smaller, yet still adorned with extravagant splendor. However, beneath that splendor, resentment surged even more violently. That resentment gathered above the city like a demonic flame. It twisted, rose, and flickered with unstable fury. As Wang Lin approached, his divine sense swept across the entire city inch by inch, leaving nothing unseen. A cold light flashed within his eyes, and he let out a low, frigid snort. The moment that snort spread outward, explosions erupted from 3 separate locations. Within the city, Lord's mansion, the advisor named Sun trembled violently. His body instantly burst apart, collapsing into a heap of shattered flesh. The same fate unfolded in the other 2 places. Wang Lin's expression remained indifferent. He turned and left without pause. His speed was absolute. He gave the Corpse Sect no time to react. As his divine sense expanded, further bodies across the remaining 4 cities detonated one after another. After completing this, Wang Lin continued forward. His divine sense spread like a vast net, covering every city within the great Wang dynasty. Panic erupted among the Corpse Sect disciples. They rushed into the air, attempting to flee. But the moment they rose, a cold snort echoed once more. Their bodies trembled violently. Under the crushing force of a Nirvana scrier's divine sense, they were instantly shattered. Popping sounds resounded throughout the great Wang dynasty. The disciples coughed blood as their bodies disintegrated. Even their souls collapsed, scattering into fragments. The resulting spiritual energy seeped into the earth of planet Suzaku, nourishing it silently. This sudden catastrophe threw the citizens of the great Wang dynasty into chaos. None understood what had occurred. Speculation spread endlessly, fear growing with every passing moment. Wang Lin's divine sense swept across the entire dynasty. After eliminating the Corpse Sect disciples, his expression grew even more somber. From the memories of the woman from planet Feng Luan, he had learned the truth. Nearly every city harbored Corpse Sect disciples. They gathered resentment, nurturing resentful spirits in secret. And this was not limited to planet Suzaku. Across countless branches of the Corpse Sect, the same act was being carried out. Although that woman held the position of head elder, someone of her status would not normally be assigned to a place like Suzaku. Yet an order had come from the Corpse Sect headquarters. A corporeal yang cultivator was to be stationed here. Thus the responsibility fell upon her. Wang Lin did not care for these details. What intrigued him was something else, a hidden command she had received after arriving on Suzaku. No matter how deeply he searched her memories, he found nothing regarding that command. It was as if it had been erased completely. This could only mean one thing: the one who issued it possessed a higher cultivation than himself. Even so, Wang Lin could infer certain things from scattered clues. With her background, she would never willingly become a mortal's concubine. Then why reside within the imperial palace? With her cultivation, there was no need for such direct involvement. She had no reason to remain there at all. Moreover, she had been on Suzaku for less than 100 years, and she had only entered the imperial palace 10 years ago. From the moment she arrived at the palace gates, her memories became blank, completely erased, as if stolen away. She herself did not know why she had come. Yet through other fragments of memory, Wang Lin discerned one thing: she was hiding. For 10 years, she had concealed herself within the imperial palace, suppressing her cultivation, living in secrecy. What exactly happened 10 years ago that forced her to flee to the most populated place on the planet? Wang Lin murmured. And why did she believe the imperial palace could shield her from discovery? He frowned slightly. After a moment of contemplation, he chose not to dwell further. His divine sense expanded once more, no longer bound to the cities. It spread across the entirety of planet Suzaku, searching for the Corpse Sect. The Corpse Sect was vast beyond measure. Not only beyond the planet, but even upon Suzaku itself, it had once existed in nearly every nation. But from the woman's memories, Wang Lin learned that the sect had undergone reorganization. All branches had been consolidated into a single location. That place now served as the headquarters of the Corpse Sect on Suzaku. What made this even more interesting was its location: the country of Zhao, the very place where the Corpse Sect had once originated. After purging the scattered members, Wang Lin headed directly toward Zhao. His speed was terrifying. In a short time he arrived. Hundreds of years had passed since his last visit. Standing before the swamp, Wang Lin's gaze turned icy. "Interesting," he said softly. "There are far more restrictions here than before." His voice remained calm. "Tarzan, open this place." Tarzan stepped forward without hesitation, his expression cold. He paid no attention to the swamp. His right fist clenched tightly, then struck the ground with overwhelming force. In that instant, the earth trembled violently. The swamp surged upward. Muddy water shot into the sky as if the land itself had been overturned. Countless restriction lights flashed into existence. Against ascendant cultivators, they might have been formidable. But before Tarzan, they were meaningless. With a single punch, all the restriction lights shattered and vanished. A massive crack tore open the ground. Deep within it, a hidden passage revealed itself. Wang Lin stepped forward without pause and entered. Tarshan followed closely behind. The big-headed boy glanced around with curiosity, then hurried after them. As Wang Lin walked through the passage, a faint melancholy stirred within him. Hundreds of years ago, he had come here twice. Each time he had proceeded with extreme caution, step by step. Now he walked as he pleased. His divine sense spread through the entire headquarters, sealing every possible exit. He had come for the head of the Corpse Sect. Whether in the past or now, Wang Lin had never held any goodwill toward them. And now they had dared to use the Wang family's descendants to cultivate resentful spirits. Though these descendants were separated from him by more than 10 generations, they were still of the Wang bloodline. To see them treated as such, this stirred genuine anger within him. Along the path, every Corpse Sect cultivator detected by his divine sense collapsed instantly. There were many within these tunnels. Their expressions were dark, filled with fear. They tried to escape, but with every passage sealed, none could succeed. As Wang Lin advanced, a sudden streak of sword energy burst forth from deeper within the tunnel. The aura it carried was powerful, at least ascendant stage. In the narrow corridor, it screamed sharply as it shot forward. Wang Lin remained calm. He lifted a finger and infused it with a trace of origin energy. Ripples spread through the void. The sword energy shattered instantly. A muffled groan echoed from afar as the ripple continued outward. Yet instead of retreating, the attacker rushed forward even faster. Wang Lin had already seen him. A thin figure shriveled like a corpse. His body was covered in dense runes. A foul stench emanated from him. His eyes were dim, devoid of awareness. Wang Lin found him vaguely familiar. In the blink of an eye, the figure arrived before him. Wang Lin sighed softly. His right foot moved. A thunderous boom erupted as his kick landed. The body began to crumble from the feet upward, disintegrating rapidly. In an instant, it turned to dust. At the moment of destruction, the figure's eyes regained clarity. He looked at Wang Lin with confusion. Then he vanished. I never thought Ye Zizai would end up as someone else's corpse puppet, Wang Lin said quietly. He continued forward. He did not move quickly. Along the way, more ambushes appeared. All of them were corpse puppets. All of them were destroyed instantly. Step by step, Wang Lin approached the core of the headquarters. When he finally arrived, his gaze turned icy. He looked forward as if piercing through walls and stone. Within the cavern ahead, he saw 8 massive teleportation arrays. Numerous Corpse Sect members stood within them. The arrays had already activated. Their forms were beginning to fade. You cannot escape, Wang Lin said calmly. His divine sense swept forward. The arrays trembled violently, then collapsed. In an instant, 3 shattered completely. The disciples within vanished into spatial cracks. Moments later, the remaining 5 arrays also collapsed. Not a single one escaped. For a second step cultivator, annihilating a sect required no bloodshed, only divine sense. Even yin-yang cultivators could not achieve such a feat. Those stages were merely transitions. Only Nirvana Scryer cultivators truly stood upon the second step. At this moment, the entire headquarters of the Corpse Sect lay in utter silence. It was not ordinary silence, but a suffocating, dreadful stillness. Only the faint rustle of footsteps echoed from the ground below. The whole place was shrouded in a thick, gloomy aura. Wang Lin walked forward, passing through the caves. His expression remained calm. He followed the path in his memory step by step until he reached the depths of the Corpse Sect. Before him stood a sealed dead end. On the surface, nothing seemed unusual. Yet Wang Lin remembered clearly there had once been a cave here. It was in that cave that he had cultivated the underworld ascension method. He did not pause. He stepped toward the wall. As he drew near, cracks began to spread across its surface. The moment he arrived, the wall collapsed. It was as though an unseen force was pressing forward. Nothing could obstruct Wang Lin's advance. Popping sounds echoed continuously through the tunnel. With every step he took, the wall crumbled further, forcibly opening a path. If another cultivator witnessed this strange scene, they would be utterly shocked. Even a yin-yang stage cultivator could achieve such a feat. but only with great difficulty. Only those who had truly entered the second step and touched the edge of law could accomplish this with such ease. Wang Lin continued forward and soon arrived at the place where he had once cultivated. He looked around and a trace of melancholy surfaced in his eyes. After a moment of silent reflection, he moved on. Ahead stood another wall riddled with countless small holes that emitted cold energy. Yet compared to the past, the chill had weakened considerably. He advanced. The walls collapsed before him. Wang Lin did not stop. He pressed onward until he reached the deepest part of the Corpse Sect. It was a vast underground cavern. At its center floated a coffin thousands of feet long. "Save me." A faint voice suddenly echoed the moment Wang Lin stepped inside. He recognized that voice. Yet as soon as it sounded, it abruptly fell silent. After a long pause, it spoke again, this time with unmistakable shock. You are that cultivator from back then." The voice trembled with unimaginable terror. Wang Lin's expression remained indifferent. He walked toward the massive coffin. Though it appeared ordinary, countless layers of restrictions covered it. These restrictions were complex and emitted a powerful pressure. Back then, when Wang Lin approached this place, his mind had trembled without reason. He had not understood why. But now he could clearly see every restriction upon the coffin. Impossible. How could you reach this level of cultivation in only a few hundred years? This. The weak voice quivered violently. It clearly recognized Wang Lin. That recognition was what filled it with such fear. It remembered everything. The first time this cultivator had come, he had only been at the foundation establishment stage. At that time, it had not cared. A mere foundation establishment cultivator could not save it. Hundreds of years later, the cultivator had returned. That second time, he had nearly reached the soul transformation stage. He had come only to take blood, ignoring all pleas for help. To stall for time, it had even tried to tempt him, offering to become his mount. Yet in the end, it had failed. That cultivator had been far too cautious. This matter had always filled it with anger, yet it could do nothing about it. And now this was the third time. This time, it was shocked beyond words. It could no longer see through Wang Lin's cultivation. Not only Wang Lin, even the two cultivators beside him, who were clearly servants, were beyond its perception. From all three, it sensed only a terrifying aura. Wang Lin remained calm as he studied the coffin. He raised his right hand and casually pointed. The moment his finger touched the coffin, a thunderous bang erupted across the cavern. Cracks spread wildly from the point of contact, covering the coffin almost instantly. To Wang Lin, this action was effortless. But to the ancestor of the giant demon clan within it was a scene of pure terror. As Wang Lin's fingertip lifted the coffin, thousands of feet long collapsed completely, shattering into countless fragments. White mist poured out, filling the surroundings. Within the mist floated a massive naked giant. His skin was entirely ashen, smooth, and unbroken, unlike an ancient god which would bear cracks. A purplish plant covered his body, writhing constantly. Each time it moved, the giant's body would visibly shrink only to recover moments later. With each cycle, large amounts of cold white mist were released. Between the giant's brows, a faint axe mark flickered intermittently. "Save me, Senior, save me. I, Lei Ji, am willing to become Senior's mount. Please save me." His divine sense was weak. This time there was no deceit in his words, only desperation. Wang Lin looked at the purple plant entwined around Lei Ji. He understood immediately. The plant had taken root deep within Lei Ji's body. In a few hundred years, it would completely drain his life force, leaving only a corpse behind. Wang Lin spoke calmly. "How many members of your giant demon clan were captured by the Corpse Sect?" "Senior, on planet Suzaku, I am the only one. But in the Alliance star system, many of my clansmen have been captured. The Corpse Sect covets our bodies. However, if they possess us normally, our innate abilities vanish. Their goal is to possess our bodies while preserving those abilities. The purple vine within me. It is a strange plant used to absorb my life force without damaging my innate power. Once that is complete, they can take my body without issue. If Wang Lin had not possessed his current cultivation, Lei Ji would never have spoken so honestly. But now he did not hesitate. In the cultivation world, strength was everything. A gleam flashed in Wang Lin's eyes as he looked at Lei Ji. He extended his right hand. Lei Ji's body trembled violently. The purple vine began to stir. In an instant, roots were forcibly pulled out one after another. The vine rapidly contracted. A terrifying pressure suddenly filled the cavern. Wang Lin frowned slightly as he observed it. As the vine withdrew, it let out a sharp, piercing scream. An enormous plant, hundreds of feet tall, emerged into the air. At its peak bloomed a massive flower. When it opened, rows of sharp teeth were revealed dripping with viscous saliva. The vines resembled limbs. Some remained connected to Lei Ji, while others bore smaller flowers, each one opening to reveal the same horrifying teeth. A deafening roar erupted, forming a storm that surged toward Wang Lin. His expression turned cold. There was a divine sense within this plant. It was not a mere plant. Senior, within that plant resides the divine sense of a vice hall master of the Corpse Sect. My body was prepared for him, if you had not come. After a few hundred years, when my life force is gone, he would have taken my body without resistance. Lei Ji's divine sense weakened further, yet he forced himself to speak. Wang Lin's mind stirred. In that moment, everything became clear, like lightning illuminating darkness. The Corpse Sect specializes in trading bodies. In this world, the finest body is that of an ancient god. But ancient gods are too rare. Thus, they turned their attention to the giant demon clan. With such a body combined with a cultivator's spells, the result would be something ordinary cultivators could not contend with. If a Nirvana scryer possessed such a body, combined with both cultivation techniques and the innate abilities of the giant demon clan, even I would struggle to face them. Unless I merged with my original body. Wang Lin's expression darkened. The Corpse Sect concealed far too many secrets. He could not determine whether this plan to possess giant demon clan bodies was central or merely one part of their schemes. Yet this revelation allowed him to glimpse part of the truth hidden within the Corpse Sect. As the All-Heaven army approached, he knew soon all secrets would be exposed. The demonic plant let out a shrill roar. Its countless vines lashed toward Wang Lin with madness, seeking to tear him apart. Wang Lin smiled faintly. He spat out the celestial sealing stamp. It expanded instantly, releasing hundreds of thousands of golden runes that surged toward the plant. The celestial sealing stamp descended with a thunderous roar. At the same time, Wang Lin raised his right hand. Thunder intent gathered. Lightning formed from the void and converged into his palm. A purple sphere of lightning appeared instantly. He pushed it forward. The lightning shot out. In that moment, golden runes surrounded the monstrous plant. The celestial sealing stamp crashed down. A heaven-shaking explosion erupted. The cavern trembled violently. Cracks spread across the walls as debris rained down. As the stamp struck, the lightning sphere arrived with a deafening rumble. Furious roars burst from the plant. The plant suffered heavy damage. Lightning coursed across its body. Viscous fluid splattered everywhere. Lei Ji was flung away, crashing heavily onto the ground. Who dared to awaken me from my slumber? You will pay with your life. A gloomy voice slowly echoed from within the plant. The instant the voice echoed, the aura of a Nirvana scryer cultivator surged outward. It spread like a storm, sweeping across the plant and forcibly tearing away the golden runes. Above the shattered plant, an illusory shadow took form. It was a figure clad in black robes, its entire body shrouded in dense, dark fog. Wang Lin remained calm. His gaze fell upon the black-robed figure as he spoke in a cold, steady tone, a mere Nirvana scryer origin soul. I would like to see how you intend to make me pay with my life. His right hand formed a seal. With a single point of his finger, the Witherdao pair flew out. The moment the beast bone appeared, a ghostly light flickered within its eyes. A powerful, sinister aura spread and grey light covered the plant. The black-robed man lifted his head. He looked at Wang Lin, not even sparing a glance at the plant below, and immediately fled. Beneath him, the plant collapsed, completely scattering into fragments. Strands of purple gas rose from the ruined plant and flowed into the black-robed figure. In an instant, his form began to solidify. A sharp glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He stepped forward. His fingers formed a sword seal, and he pointed ahead. Countless bolts of thunder emerged from the void, gathering into a raging storm. Under Wang Lin's control, the thunderstorm closed in on the fleeing figure. The black-robed man's expression darkened. He retreated at once, forming seals with both hands. A round black barrier appeared before him. When the thunderstorm struck, a deafening explosion roared through the cave. The entire cave began to collapse on a massive scale. The black-robed man groaned and retreated rapidly. "Fellow cultivator from afar, if there is a grievance, we can discuss it. This old man is Liu Qingyun, Vice Hall Master of the Resentment Hall of the Corpse Sect." Shock filled his heart. He had only just awakened. His mind had still been muddled. Yet now he realized that the one who awakened him was a Nirvana Scryer cultivator. If he still possessed his body, he would not have feared. But now he was without flesh. Worse still, this was not the only Nirvana Scryer cultivator present. The big-headed boy was also at that level, and though the puppet was not, it stood at the peak of the corporeal Yang stage. The more he observed them, the more alarmed he became. Even with a body facing these three, he would have no choice but to flee immediately. Only by successfully possessing the giant demon clan body could he hope to fight. With that body, he might drive one away, contend with another using its strength, and rely on his own spells against the last. Yet this was only a thought. Liu Qingyun sighed bitterly within. "Fellow cultivator, I fear this is a misunderstanding. I have only just awakened and may have spoken offensively. I ask for your forgiveness. If you desire this giant demon clan body, I can offer it as a token of goodwill." As he spoke, he continued to retreat. Wang Lin said nothing. He moved like lightning chasing after him. Ripples formed beneath his feet. His eyes shone coldly. An early-stage Nirvana Scryer origin soul, a weakened one. With this, I can ensure Tarshan's body reaches the Nirvana Scryer stage. Liu Qingyun remained cautious, inwardly cursing. He had chosen this half-abandoned planet precisely because nothing of value existed here. No cultivator of such level should have come. His plan had been to remain hidden for thousands of years, possess this body, then return to the hall and contend for the position of Hall Master. He had never expected that at the final moment such a cultivator would appear. His thoughts raced. He immediately concluded this was a scheme by the other Vice Hall Masters. They must have gained some unknown advantage and come to destroy him, striking while he was still in origin soul form. Damn it, I was so cautious. I avoided attracting their attention. I did not even bring subordinates. Everything was done in secret. Yet my location was still discovered. His face darkened. As he retreated, he carefully examined Wang Lin's group. The more he looked, the more unfamiliar they seemed. As a Vice Hall Master of the Corpse Sect, he had seen nearly every Nirvana Scryer cultivator within the Alliance star system. Yet these three, he did not recognize them, especially the big-headed boy. His cultivation was clearly at the Nirvana Scryer stage, yet no domain could be sensed. Instead, there was an overwhelming celestial spiritual energy. This celestial. Liu Qingyun's eyes widened. He retreated even faster. "You cannot escape." Wang Lin's voice was cold. Ripples spread beneath his feet, and he vanished. Liu Qingyun nearly lost his mind. Spatial bending. His origin soul instantly collapsed into countless specks of light. These fragments scattered and shot upward in frantic escape. So they truly paid such a price. To invite a Nirvana Scryer cultivator capable of spatial bending. His heart trembled. Despair crept in. A cultivator who mastered spatial bending was invincible among peers. They could advance and retreat at will. Facing such an opponent was a nightmare. His origin soul became a streak of light fleeing rapidly. Yet Wang Lin stepped out from the void, appearing directly before him. His hand struck down without mercy. The world trembled. A powerful force gathered the scattered fragments of Liu Qingyun's origin soul, forcing them to recombine. His face turned pale, just as he tried to retreat. A foolish laugh echoed. The big-headed boy shook his oversized head and blocked his path. From the distance, Tashan closed in swiftly. Liu Qingyun smiled bitterly. He understood now. Against someone who mastered spatial bending, escape was impossible. He sighed. Fellow cultivator, there is no life and death enmity between us. Can you leave me a path to survival? I will repay you. Wang Lin looked at him calmly. How will you repay me? Liu Qingyun gritted his teeth. I possess the origin soul of a Nirvana scryer cultivator. Will that suffice? This was the origin soul of his mortal enemy. Years ago, he had destroyed that man's body and seized it. He had intended to refine it into a puppet. But now at the edge of death, he was willing to give it up. Wang Lin's expression did not change. Bring it. Hope flickered in Liu Qingyun's eyes. Fellow cultivator, if I take it out and you still refuse. Before he could finish, Wang Lin frowned. His gaze turned icy. I will give you 3 breaths to decide. Silence fell. Liu Qingyun hesitated, then sighed. He raised his hand and touched his forehead. A ripple spread and a mirror appeared. Light flashed. Within the mirror, the origin soul of a middle-aged man slowly emerged. Without hesitation, Liu Qingyun sent it forward. It landed in Wang Lin's hand. Wang Lin examined it carefully, then nodded. It was indeed a Nirvana scryer origin soul. However, its consciousness had long been erased. It was nothing more than an empty shell. He shook his head. This is not enough to buy your life. Liu Qingyun smiled bitterly. He knew it was insufficient. After a moment of hesitation, uncertainty filled his face. Then suddenly his eyes hardened. Fellow cultivator, I have something else. You will be satisfied. A trace of viciousness flashed in his eyes. His hand pressed against the mirror again. A powerful pressure surged out. Thump, thump, thump. The sound of a heartbeat echoed. Then a corpse floated out. The corpse was entirely crimson. The moment it appeared, monstrous flames erupted, filling the world. Even the big-headed boy's expression changed. This is the fire spirit corpse, ranked 12th in the Corpse Sect. If one successfully possesses it, no fire in the world can harm them. They would command all flames. Its value is immense. It should be enough to exchange for my life. As he spoke, Liu Qingyun hurled the corpse toward Wang Lin. The fire spirit corpse moved with terrifying speed. It reached Wang Lin in an instant. But as it approached, its eyes snapped open, revealing a frenzied light. Liu Qingyun's face twisted. Explode. The corpse shattered. The explosion was contained within the area. Its full power was unleashed. Endless flames surged into the sky. The clouds vanished instantly. Cracks tore through the heavens. The force was overwhelming. Tashan retreated. The big-headed boy's face turned pale as he withdrew as well. If that explosion had occurred near him, he would not have survived. He had not expected Liu Qingyun to dare such a desperate move. This was his first true understanding of alliance cultivators. Liu Qingyun's mad laughter echoed. His figure flashed, rushing toward the sky. Everything he had done was deliberate, all to create this moment. If the explosion had spread, it would not have harmed the planet. But concentrated, it was enough to kill any cultivator of the same level. Though it pains me to lose the fire spirit corpse, destroying a spatial bending cultivator is worth it. Once he dies, the others cannot catch me. Laughing wildly, he shot toward the sky. He intended to return to the Corpse Sect, choose a new body, and later seek revenge. You cannot escape. The voice was cold, relentless. It fell into Liu Qingyun's ears like a freezing wind. His body trembled. His eyes filled with disbelief. And he stopped. Wang Lin appeared before Liu Qingyun. His expression was calm. There was not a single injury on his body. The illusory image of a furnace slowly faded away around him. Liu Qingyun was struck with disbelief. Even the big-headed boy in the distance drew in a sharp breath, his eyes filled with shock. He had known Wang Lin was strong, but he had never imagined Wang Lin could emerge completely unscathed. At that moment, he no longer dared to oppose him. Fear took root deep in his heart. Wang Lin's gaze turned cold as it fell upon Liu Qingyun. He stepped forward. His figure vanished. Liu Qingyun's heart trembled with terror. He hurriedly spoke, his voice anxious. "Fellow cultivator, this is a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding. This time I will truly offer you a treasure in exchange for my life. I have—" Before he could finish, Wang Lin appeared behind him, just as Liu Qingyun tried to flee. Thunder gathered between Wang Lin's fingers, carrying the might of the heavens. As thunder rumbled across the sky, Wang Lin pressed his fingers into the center of Liu Qingyun's back. A deafening bang echoed. Liu Qingyun was sent flying. His face turned pale. His body lost its solidity and began to dissipate at a rapid pace. Wang Lin had already seen through Liu Qingyun's trick. He had grown within the Alliance star system. He had witnessed too many schemes, too many betrayals. If he had believed Liu Qingyun's words, he would not be Wang Lin. The moment Liu Qingyun revealed the fire corpse, Wang Lin had sensed something amiss. He had already activated the ancient god furnace. When the fire corpse collapsed, he had easily evaded everything with its protection. Wang Lin had deliberately given Liu Qingyun that opportunity. As the Vice Hall Master of the Corpse Sect, Liu Qingyun was bound to possess life-saving methods. If Wang Lin had attacked recklessly from the beginning, the battle would have turned chaotic. Killing Liu Qingyun without injury would have been difficult. So Wang Lin waited. He waited for Liu Qingyun to reveal his final trump card. Only then could he avoid it effortlessly. And the moment that trump card appeared would be Liu Qingyun's moment of death. Everything unfolded exactly as Wang Lin had anticipated. This time he showed no mercy. After striking, he merged once more with the world and charged forward again. Liu Qingyun was not a fool. As his origin soul began to dissipate, he let out a bitter smile. He understood Wang Lin's intentions. Regret filled him. Wang Lin reappeared. With a single point of his finger, countless bolts of lightning surged forth. Thunder roared. Lightning descended upon Liu Qingyun. Wang Lin's fingers struck again and again. Each strike pushed Liu Qingyun's origin soul closer to collapse. He retreated continuously, his form growing more unstable with every moment. Seeing that escape was no longer possible, Liu Qingyun's eyes flashed with vicious resolve. He roared, "If you want to kill me, then be buried with me." Madness filled his gaze. Without hesitation, he chose self-destruction. This was not his entire origin soul. With his cunning, he would never risk everything. Long ago, he had separated a fragment to preserve his life in times of crisis. But now he chose to gamble it all. A destructive aura surged from his origin soul. His expression twisted with ferocity as he prepared to explode. The self-destruction of a Nirvana Scryer cultivator far surpassed that of the fire corpse. If he exploded, planet Suzaku itself would collapse. All life upon the planet, save for a very few, would be extinguished. Even the cultivation planet Crystal would suffer unimaginable consequences. This had been one of the key reasons Wang Lin had hesitated to strike immediately. Yet now, as Liu Qingyun chose destruction, Wang Lin remained calm. His voice was soft, almost indifferent. "Celestial spell, stop." In an instant, the stop spell descended. Empowered by the celestial origin energy from Qing Shui, its might had grown. Liu Qingyun's exploding origin soul froze in place. Wang Lin stepped forward. He grasped the origin soul. Ripples spread beneath his feet. Then he vanished without a trace. Far away within the Alliance, star system ripples appeared in empty space. Wang Lin emerged. Without delay, he placed restrictions upon Liu Qingyun's origin soul. His left hand struck without mercy. Origin energy surged from his body, shaking the soul violently. The destructive aura dissipated at once. Layer upon layer of restrictions sealed the origin soul, completely halting its self-destruction. Wang Lin then tossed it into his storage bag. He turned. Ripples formed once more beneath his feet. His figure disappeared into the sky. The big-headed boy's pupils shrank. His fear of Wang Lin deepened further. He knew clearly if he had faced that collapsing Nirvana Scryer origin soul, He would not have handled it so effortlessly. A single mistake could have cost him dearly. Especially when Liu Qingyun chose self-destruction, his scalp had gone numb. Yet what shocked him even more was Wang Lin's composure. It was as if everything had already been calculated. Every movement was smooth, precise, without hesitation. The origin soul had been taken as if it were inevitable. All of this left the big-headed boy shaken to his core. At this moment he truly respected Wang Lin. To serve this person is not a humiliation to my status. He drew in a deep breath. Ripples formed in the sky before him. Wang Lin appeared. Without speaking, he looked down at the earth and said calmly, "Lei Ji, come out." The ground trembled. Lei Ji's massive body slowly rose into the air. He still appeared somewhat weak. When he saw Wang Lin, awe flickered within his eyes. He had witnessed the battle just now. Wang Lin's strange spells and unwavering calm had left a deep impression on him. He bowed respectfully. "Lei Ji greets Master. From now on, you are my mount. Should you harbor any rebellious thoughts, your origin soul will be destroyed." Wang Lin's gaze fell upon him. Lei Ji felt as if two strands of sword energy pierced through his eyes. His mind trembled. He hurriedly nodded. Wang Lin opened his storage bag and took out a small bottle. He tossed it toward Lei Ji. "Extract your heart blood. Fill this bottle." With that, Wang Lin began to walk forward. Tarshan and the big-headed boy followed behind him. Lei Ji held the bottle and sighed. Popping sounds echoed from his body as it rapidly shrank. From thousands of feet tall, he reduced himself to merely 30 feet before following after Wang Lin. Pain flickered across his expression. He pressed his right hand to his chest. Blood flowed out from his heart, gathering into the small bottle. Wang Lin had spared this ancestor of the giant demon clan for a reason. Within his blood lay a trace of ancient god aura. Although Wang Lin's cultivation had grown after returning to the Alliance star system, the sense of danger surrounding him had only intensified. He needed to refine his spells upon planet Suzaku, the first among them his ancient god spells. With this blood, he would be able to cast some of them once more. Even his original body could use them. Far away on the eastern edge of the Alliance star system, a sea of flames burned endlessly. Within it lay a crimson planet engulfed in fire like a blazing cultivation world. This was the Holy Vermilion bird planet. Around it only the scattered remnants of a shattered star remained. It was as if this region had burned for countless ages. A streak of red light approached from the distant stars. A young cultivator rode upon a firebird. He entered the sea of flames and vanished. On the planet stood a towering vermilion bird statue that pierced the heavens. Endless heat radiated from it. Atop the statue sat 3 elders. The young cultivator appeared thousands of feet away, unable to approach further. The heat forced sweat to pour from his body. Report. The All-Heaven Army has occupied 60% of the western region. 11 forces advance from 11 directions. Their leaders are the newly appointed 108 Celestials. The one at the forefront is Vice Thunder Celestial Shu Ting. Silence lingered briefly. Then one of the elders spoke. His voice was calm, yet the temperature surged as if the laws themselves shifted. "Is there any trace of Shumu?" The young cultivator retreated several hundred feet before he could barely endure the heat. He bowed and answered, "All Heaven Thunder Celestial Shumu's whereabouts remain unknown. We are still searching." Another elder smiled faintly. "In less than 2 months, they have only taken 60%. The All-Heaven cultivators are rather cautious." The final elder spoke in an even tone. "Let us see how the Cultivation Alliance's plan unfolds. It should teach the All-Heaven cultivators a profound lesson. Unfortunately, the Holy Emperor is absent. Otherwise, our Holy Vermilion bird planet would also reap great benefits. On planet Suzaku, within the imperial palace of the great Wang dynasty, every member of the Wang clan had gathered in the vast square. All of them knelt upon the ground. Their faces shifted between excitement and fear. No one dared to speak. Before them stood the imperial ancestral hall. Countless spirit tablets hung within. Yet the hall itself was plain devoid of any luxury. Inside, Wang Lin stood in silence. His gaze moved across the unfamiliar names carved upon each tablet. At last his eyes settled on the highest one, Ancestor Wang Zhuo. Wang Lin quietly pondered. Scenes of the past surfaced in his mind one after another. Now that he had returned, heaven itself separated them. Wang Zhuo had indeed fulfilled his promise. He had allowed Wang Lin to cultivate in peace, while he himself remained behind, guarding the Wang family's descendants until his lifespan came to an end. Wang Lin let out a soft sigh. This time planet Suzaku felt utterly unfamiliar to him. Even when facing his own bloodline descendants, he felt no trace of affection. What lingered in his heart was only melancholy and a faint piercing pain. He could not find even the smallest fragment of warmth among these people. For the first time, he truly felt it. Time was like a ruthless river, washing away every beautiful memory he once held. Outside the ancestral hall, the Wang family descendants did not even dare to breathe loudly. Their hearts pounded violently as they looked at the figure before them, an ancestor who was both unfamiliar, yet terrifyingly familiar. At the front, the 8 elders knelt as well. As they gazed at Wang Lin, they seemed to feel the weight of endless years and an indescribable sorrow. Wang Lin's gaze moved downward from the highest tablet. It stopped upon another, Ancestor Wang Yu. The name stirred a vague memory. During the war between the Forsaken Immortal clan and Suzaku, children with cultivation talent had been captured. Wang Yu had been one of them. That child has also passed. The sorrow surrounding Wang Lin deepened. A complex emotion surged within him. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of years had gone by. Looking back, time had altered everything beyond recognition. It had become nearly impossible to find even a single familiar face. After a long silence, Wang Lin turned and stepped out of the ancestral hall. He looked at the kneeling figures in the square. Though they carried his bloodline, they did not feel like family. All of you will walk your own paths from now on. No cultivator shall interfere with the mortal world again. As for the great Wang dynasty, if any among you possesses the ability, then preserve its legacy for thousands of years. But if you are foolish and ruthless, then such wealth is meaningless. Though your past actions were influenced by resentment, this dynasty is filled with sorrow. If that sorrow was brought about by my Wang family, then you should all return to being ordinary mortals. Having resolved the karma of the Wang family, Wang Lin cast a cold glance over his descendants. With a flick of his sleeve, he rose into the air. Tarshan and the big-headed boy followed closely behind. The towering Lei Ji, 30 feet tall, also ascended after him. Once Wang Lin departed, the square fell into complete silence. After a long while, the 8 elders slowly stood. Their expressions were grim. They swept their gazes across the crowd, their eyes filled with cold resolve. "We have angered our ancestor," one elder said icily. "From this day onward, new clan laws will be established. Any who violate them will be executed." Wang Lin moved through the heavens. Yet even after resolving the matter of his descendants, the melancholy within him did not lessen. He headed toward the Cloud Sky Sect. As he traveled, his expression suddenly shifted. He looked into the distance. A massive centipede, thousands of feet long, streaked across the sky. Several cultivators stood upon its back. One of them bore the aura of a celestial. He wore a yellow robe. A sword rested upon his back. The wind stirred his garments, giving him an air of effortless elegance. Sect Master Huanglong. Wang Lin's pupils contracted. Light flickered within his eyes. The portrait he had once seen in the demon spirit land surfaced in his mind. The centipede moved with astonishing speed. In a blink, it vanished beyond the horizon. Yet Wang Lin could clearly feel it. A gaze cast from the centipede's back, lingering upon him. "Not bad, little fellow." A faint chuckle echoed in Wang Lin's ears. The sound faded and disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin frowned slightly. He stared at the distant horizon where the centipede had vanished. After a moment of thought, he continued toward the Cloud Sky Sect. This matter was far too strange. He would not act rashly. Within the Cloud Sky Sect, Tai Yan sat quietly in the square, waiting. He knew Wang Lin would come. His time was nearly exhausted. His cultivation had fallen back to the peak of late soul formation. He could no longer break through into soul transformation. His lifespan had been steadily consumed. With his talent and Wang Lin's guidance, this should never have happened. But a century ago, something had occurred. Something he had chosen of his own will. On this day, a figure appeared in the sky above him. Wang Lin stepped forward. His gaze swept across the familiar surroundings and finally landed on Ti Yan. Tai Yan rose at once. Excitement filled his face. He took a deep breath and bowed respectfully. Tai Yan greets benefactor. Wang Lin's voice was calm. Where is Zhou Ru? Tai Yan's expression turned complicated. After a long silence, he smiled bitterly. She left planet Suzaku 100 years ago. Wang Lin looked up at the sky. The melancholy within him deepened. He sighed softly, then asked, "Is that why your lifespan is ending? Why your cultivation declined?" Tai Yan remained silent for a moment, then nodded. With Zhou Ru's cultivation, it would have been impossible for her to leave Suzaku. To fulfill her wish, Tia Yan had used his own life along with Zhou Wu Tai's assistance, and a vast amount of celestial jades to forcefully elevate her to the soul transformation stage. Nonsense. Wang Lin frowned. He said nothing further. He slapped his bag of holding. A large number of celestial jades flew out hovering in the air. His right hand reached into the void. A series of popping sounds echoed. The celestial jades shattered one by one. Dense celestial spiritual energy condensed into spheres within his palm. The surrounding space filled with rich surging energy. Wang Lin pressed the sphere into Tia Yan's body. Tai Yan trembled. It felt as though flames were burning within him. More celestial jades appeared, forming a small mountain within the square. Wang Lin turned and stepped into the sky. Your cultivation declined because of Zhou Ru. That is karmic cause. I have restored it. That is karmic effect. As for these celestial jades, consider them my thanks for caring for the Wang family. From now on, do not involve yourself with my family's matters. Cultivate in peace. Tai Yan's body shook violently. Celestial energy surged through him. His cultivation rapidly recovered. He bowed deeply toward Wang Lin's departing figure. At that moment, 9 beams of light tore through the sky and descended before him. 9 swords hovered in the air, releasing overwhelming sword intent. I gift these to you. Wang Lin's voice drifted from the distant void as if carried by the clouds. After resolving the karma of the Cloud Sky Sect, Wang Lin rose higher into the heavens. Above him, the yin and yang fish appeared slowly rotating. With the resolution of these karmic ties, his understanding deepened. The enlightenment of my domain lies in the second step. In the domain of karma, every cause must have its effect. Only when cause and effect are complete does a cycle form, and only by completing countless cycles can karma be fulfilled. I did not expect that my return to Suzaku would align with this. He sighed, then closed his eyes. His divine sense spread outward, covering the entire planet. Karma. I must repay those who have helped me. I must settle all debts with those I have wronged. His divine sense surged like a storm sweeping across Suzaku. Soon it enveloped every corner of the planet. In Zhao, a rank 5 cultivation country within the Heihuan sect, a beautiful woman sat within a cave cultivating. This was a special location for inner sect disciples, where spiritual energy was several times denser than outside. As she cultivated, a teasing voice echoed from outside. Junior sister Zhang, don't forget your promise. I let you cultivate here for a month. You must accompany me for 3 days. Only 4 days left. The laughter faded as the speaker left. The woman opened her eyes and sighed. She was merely an outer disciple. The spiritual energy outside was too thin for her to reach the 9th layer of qi condensation. Only here could she attempt a breakthrough. In my family records, my ancestor Zhang Hu was also a cultivator. 1,000 years ago, he entered the Heng Yue sect. But now, all of that is gone. I can only remain an outer disciple of the Heihuan sect. Bitterness flickered in her eyes. She closed them once more to cultivate. Then suddenly, she opened them again. Shock filled her gaze. A young man in white had appeared silently before her. His appearance was ordinary, yet the aura surrounding him was indescribable. Wang Lin looked at her calmly. He tapped his bag of holding. Spirit stones, celestial jades, and even a flying sword appeared. I knew your ancestor. The karmic cause of the past has become the karmic effect of today. The woman stood frozen, unable to react. Wang Lin let out a quiet, melancholic sigh and disappeared. Changhu had long since passed. But within this woman, Wang Lin had sensed a faint trace of his bloodline. In the rank 4 cultivation nation of Huofen, within the grand hall of the war god temple, a woman of exceptional beauty sat quietly in palace robes. Her cultivation had reached the late stage of soul formation. Beside her lay several celestial jades. Their glow faint yet profound, it was clear she was attempting to break through into the soul transformation stage. Seated across from her was a young man. Though his appearance was youthful, an ancient aura lingered around him. His cultivation, too, stood at the late stage of soul formation. He looked at the woman and let out a soft sigh. Junior Sister Joe, there are not enough celestial jades for both of us to continue absorbing. You should go first. If you can step into the soul transformation stage, then our country of Huofen can rise in rank. The woman fell silent, lost in thought. After a long moment, she raised her gaze and spoke softly. Senior Brother Yang, if I succeed in reaching the soul transformation stage, then the two of us should become cultivation partners. After speaking, she sighed gently. For reasons she could not explain, an old figure from her past surfaced in her mind. The man gave a bitter smile and shook his head. My lifespan is nearly exhausted. You do not need to make such a decision. I do this willingly. Besides, I have heard that he has already returned to planet Suzaku. As the two remained in contemplation, a figure appeared silently within the hall. Xianxia, Chu Jihong, how have you been? A voice tinged with melancholy echoed softly. Both of them were startled and turned immediately. Wang Lin stood there looking at the two familiar figures. Their appearances had not changed at all. This was due to the spirit liquid he had once given them in the foreign battleground. Wang Lin. A faint smile appeared on Wang Lin's face. He said nothing further. With a slap to his bag of holding, a vast number of celestial jades flew out, scattering across the hall and piling into a small mountain. If the two of you are to tie the knot, then take these celestial jades as my gift. His voice was calm yet sincere. He then took out several pills, placed them down, and turned without hesitation to leave. Within a rank 5 cultivation country, ruled by the giant demon clan, Chi Hu remained largely unchanged in appearance. Yet now an ancient aura surrounded him. The giant demon clan possessed naturally long lifespans, and Chi Hu had already become their patriarch. His cultivation had reached the late stage of soul transformation. Only one step remained before ascendant. With his powerful physical body and bloodline ability, he could even contend with ascendant cultivators. Over the centuries, Chi Hu had grown steady and dependable. His status upon planet Suzaku was no longer insignificant. The giant demon clan had become one of the backbone forces of the planet. And yet, time could not wash away the melancholy he held for a certain friend. With his current position, he naturally knew of Wang Lin's return. He had even witnessed the battle between Wang Lin and the big-headed youth. His heart was filled with complicated emotions. On this day, as he cultivated, his eyes suddenly opened. His body trembled slightly. Before him stood Wang Lin. Brother Chi Hu. It has been a long time. Seng knew. Chi Hu's expression turned bitter. He looked at Wang Lin, but for a long time he could not find the words to speak. Let the past remain in the past. Wang Lin spoke calmly. He slapped his bag of holding once more, and a massive amount of celestial jades appeared, forming a hill. At the same time, he produced a small bottle within. It was the blood of Lei Ji. These celestial jades will help you step into the ascendant stage. And this is the blood of your giant demon clan ancestor. It will strengthen your bloodline. Farewell, Chi Hu. Wang Lin let out a faint sigh and departed. Chi Hu remained standing where he was. His gaze lingered on the place Wang Lin had vanished. The complexity in his eyes deepened. In a remote region of the Sea of Devils, filled with countless skeletons, an old man sat cross-legged. His cultivation had reached the late stage of soul formation. At this moment, he was absorbing a vast amount of yin energy. His face twisted in pain. Veins bulged across his skin, forming red streaks. As the yin energy entered his body, dark lines within him were suppressed. After a long time, he exhaled deeply. His face was pale with exhaustion, his body drenched in sweat. Scarlet blood ancestor, if I, Li Qi King, do not avenge this, then I am not human. His expression turned hideous. A terrifying hatred burned within him. This hatred had grown monstrous. Within 1,000 feet of him, a pale blue circle spread outward. His cultivation had attracted the attention of demonic beasts in the Sea of Devils. They rushed toward him, but the moment they touched the blue traces, they screamed in agony. Their bodies withered rapidly. At that instant, the old man's eyes snapped open. His body flickered and appeared beside one of the beasts. He grabbed it, pounced, and sank his teeth into its neck, sucking mercilessly. The beast shriveled at a visible speed, soon reduced to a dry corpse. He moved again, appearing beside another beast. Again and again until all the beasts were dead. A faint flush appeared on his face. He inhaled deeply and returned to his original spot. His gaze turned toward the endless Sea of Devils, filled with boundless hatred. Scarlet blood ancestor, if you had not hunted my sister, how could she have met that Wang Lin, Li Qi King Li Muan's elder brother, her only remaining family? The scarlet blood ancestor was the one who had pursued Li Muan. Li Qi King's hatred toward him was immeasurable. He had learned that this man had come to the Sea of Devils. Thus he had followed in secret. He had intended to take revenge, but his cultivation was insufficient. Instead, he had been struck by a blood rune. Now he lived in a state worse than death. Yet his hatred only deepened. A cold light flickered in his eyes. He took a deep breath. Each time the blood rune activated, the scarlet blood ancestor could sense his location. He had to leave immediately, but suddenly, his pupils shrank. Every hair on his body stood on end. He stared forward. Dozens of feet away, Wang Lin appeared. A complicated expression filled Wang Lin's gaze as he looked at the old man. Li Qi King stared at him. After a long time, his body trembled violently. Disbelief filled his eyes. He staggered back several steps. Who are you? He had seen Wang Lin long ago. Over the centuries, he had even seen statues of him. How could he not recognize him? And yet, seeing him in person shattered his composure. He did not know that Wang Lin had returned to Suzaku. Wang Lin remained silent. With a calm motion, he slapped his bag of holding. The heaven-avoiding coffin flew out. Inside lay Li Muan. Her expression remained peaceful, a faint smile still upon her lips. Li Qi King's body trembled violently. At that moment, everything else disappeared. The only thing that remained in his world was his little sister. Hundreds of years had passed since he last saw her. The only family he had left. Little sister. Tears streamed down his face. The vicious hatred in his eyes vanished, replaced by deep familial affection. Before father and mother left, they made me promise to take care of you. Your elder brother was useless. I couldn't protect you. His face was filled with sorrow as he looked at her. A pain beyond endurance filled his heart. Wang Lin said nothing. He simply stood quietly to the side. Time seemed to stretch endlessly. Li Qi King sat beside the coffin, his thoughts drowning him as he gazed at his sister. Then, a roar echoed from the distance. 3 streaks of sword energy shot forward. The leading sword was crimson. Upon it stood an old man in the late stage of soul transformation. His expression was arrogant. Behind him, 2 middle-aged men followed, their faces filled with reverence. Li Qi King, let me see where you can run now. The old man sneered as he approached. He immediately saw Li Qi King, the coffin, and Wang Lin. The strange scene caused him to halt. His eyes lit up. He carefully examined the coffin and sensed the dense, celestial, spiritual energy within. Greed instantly surfaced in his gaze. But then, his eyes fell upon Wang Lin. He froze. A sense of familiarity stirred. As he hesitated, Wang Lin looked at him coldly. That single glance caused the old man's mind to tremble violently. The sword beneath his feet shattered. He staggered backward, coughing blood. Terror filled his eyes. Then, he recognized him. Wang Lin. His voice trembled. Without hesitation, he turned and fled. As he escaped, he grabbed his 2 disciples and threw them behind him, shouting madly. Explode! The Scarlet Blood ancestor had always been a cautious man. Within every disciple under his command, he had planted controlling seals. Under his will, the 2 disciples' bodies suddenly burst apart, collapsing into a dense mist of blood that surged toward Wang Lin. Seizing that fleeting moment, he turned and fled in trembling panic. His mind was blank. There was only one thought left: escape. His scalp tingled with numbness. Fear flooded his heart. For years a thorn had remained buried deep within him. That thorn came from long ago, when he had pursued a female cultivator near the border between the Sea of Devils and the country of Ho Fen. There he encountered a junior who intervened, saved her, and fled into the Sea of Devils. At the time he had not cared, but as the years passed, the name Cheng Niu rose to prominence. With each whisper of that name, his unease deepened. Eventually he realized Cheng Niu was that very junior who had once escaped before his eyes. What followed only worsened his dread. Cheng Niu shone brilliantly during the war between the Forsaken Immortal clan and the country of Suzaku. Later he learned that Zhou Wutai's ascension as Suzaku had been granted by Cheng Niu by Wang Lin himself. Only after Wang Lin left planet Suzaku did the pressure in his heart ease slightly. And yet today, he had met him again. He shouldn't remember me. The old man's thoughts trembled, clinging desperately to that fragile hope. It's you. A cold glint flashed through Wang Lin's eyes. With his keen perception, he saw through everything in an instant. This man had come to kill Li Muwan's brother. Their enmity was almost certainly rooted in the past. Killing intent surged. Wang Lin waved his hand. The force of the blood mist, created by the exploding disciples, reversed instantly and rushed back toward the old man. The old man's face drained of all color. He tried to teleport, but it was too late. The blood mist engulfed him. From within, shrill, agonized screams echoed outward. Wang Lin raised his right hand and waved again. A thunderous boom resounded. More blood mist erupted. Then gradually all the blood dispersed into nothingness. From beginning to end, Li Keqing never lifted his head. It was as if he perceived nothing beyond himself. In his eyes there was only Li Muwan. Time passed slowly. After a long while, Li Keqing took a deep breath. His gaze cleared. He looked carefully at Li Muwan within the coffin, as though carving her image into the depths of his soul. Then he stood, turned, and walked into the distance without sparing Wang Lin even a glance. With the Scarlet Blood ancestor's death, the red lines on Li Keqing's face shattered and vanished. Wang Lin watched his departing figure in silence. He understood. Li Keqing's indifference was a choice, a quiet severance. He no longer wished for any connection with Wang Lin. After a soft sigh, Wang Lin stored the heaven-avoiding coffin into his bag and ascended into the sky. All karma has been settled. He hovered in the air, gazing down at planet Suzaku. The planet lay in a half-abandoned state, its spiritual energy thin and depleted. Zhou Wutai, since you are Suzaku, then I shall use this planet to conclude my karma with you. His expression remained calm. Ripples formed beneath his feet, and he vanished. When he reappeared, it was beside an uninhabited planet within the Alliance star system. He looked upon it, then raised his right hand. His early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivation erupted without restraint. His eyes shone. His hand reached forward and pulled back ruthlessly. The planet trembled violently. Moments later, an ancient aura surged forth, as though an invisible giant hand was being drawn out. Planet soul extraction. Wang Lin did not take it all. He stopped after extracting 1/3. Though this would weaken the planet, it would not be catastrophic. Along his journey, he extracted the souls of several planets. Even with his cultivation, fatigue crept in. The big-headed boy could not merge with the world, so only Wang Lin could perform such a task. One day later, carrying the collected planet souls, Wang Lin merged with the world itself and returned to planet Suzaku. The moment he appeared above it, an ancient aura radiated from his right hand. Within his palm floated 7 spheres of light, each exuding a primordial presence. These were the planet souls he had gathered. Taking a deep breath, Wang Lin lifted one sphere with his left hand and flicked it forward. The sphere shot out at astonishing speed and fused instantly with planet Suzaku. The planet trembled. Not its surface, but its soul. Deep within its core, spirit veins began to emerge. Slowly the planet stirred, recovering from its desolate state. Wang Lin did not pause. He sent forth the second sphere. The planet's soul trembled more violently. Spirit veins formed in abundance. Mountains long barren were suddenly infused with spiritual energy. Mortals across the land felt warmth rising from the earth. Their bodies lightened. Illness vanished. The third, the fourth, the fifth. Each soul was cast into the planet. At that moment, a phoenix's cry, faint, ancient, echoed from within Suzaku. Only a handful of cultivators could hear it. It was as though the planet had awakened. Dried spirit veins refilled. Spiritual energy surged anew. The entire planet reached a new height of vitality. And more than that, every cultivator felt it. The spiritual energy around them became active, restless. Even the energy within their own bodies stirred of its own accord. Wang Lin raised the 6th sphere and sent it into the planet. The mountains turned greener. The waters ran clearer. A faint fragrance spread through the air. Life itself rippled across Suzaku. Finally, the 7th sphere. As it merged, the trembling of the planet's soul reached its peak. Even mortals with no apparent talent found their aptitude enhanced. Countless low-level cultivators broke through bottlenecks instantly. Across the planet, sects fell silent as cultivators abandoned all distractions, immersing themselves in cultivation. They absorbed spiritual energy with fervor. Though Suzaku had not yet reached the level of a top-tier cultivation planet, it was no longer abandoned. It had returned to the peak of its former glory. On Mount Suzaku, Zhou Wutai stood quietly gazing at the sky. His expression was complex. After a long exhale, he murmured softly, "Thank you, Brother Wang." Within the country of Suzaku, before a certain sect, an old cultivator identical in appearance to Huanglong smiled faintly and shook his head. To expend the souls of 7 planets to restore one. Not an efficient exchange, he said. Yet it reveals how deeply this child values his homeland. That is good. Still, I wonder what choice he will make in the conflict between the All-Heaven star system and the Alliance star system. Wang Lin looked down upon the earth once more. Then he stepped forward and vanished. When he reappeared, he stood within a valley. Everything was unchanged from when he had left. The karma is complete. It is time to depart. His voice was calm. Before that, I must visit that place within the Forsaken Immortal clan. Unfortunately, I have yet to find a method to increase the celestial origin energy within my body. Otherwise, I could begin studying the magic arsenal. His gaze drifted into the distance, cold and steady. Within the Alliance star system, there existed an isolated region. Countless black structures stood there, each with a distinct form. They resembled colossal swords driven deep into the void. At the center stood a towering structure tens of thousands of feet high. Black chains extended from it, linking it to the surrounding buildings. The Cultivation Alliance was divided into 2 sects, 4 temples and 8 domains. This was the Slaughter Domain. A ghostly figure emerged from the void, moving like lightning. It arrived above one of the buildings and knelt. The figure revealed itself as an old man. Bowing deeply toward the central tower, he spoke, "Traces of the All-Heaven's new thunder celestial Shumu have been discovered." From within the tower, a cold, eerie voice echoed outward. "Soul Kill Second, bring me Shumu's head. Let it serve as a gift to the All-Heaven cultivators of the Slaughter Domain." An old man sat beside the vast pit where the Forsaken Immortal clan had once been sealed on planet Suzaku. He wore a crimson robe, his hair equally red like dried blood under a fading sky. On his forehead, a strange plant shimmered 11 leaves fully spread. Above the 11th, a half-formed leaf trembled faintly. If that final half-leaf were to fully unfold, he would instantly ascend into a 12-leaf member of the Forsaken Immortal clan. And a 12-leaf clansman stood equal to an illusory yin cultivator. The old man remained still unmoving, as though time itself had abandoned him. On this day, 4 streaks of light tore across the sky. His eyes slowly opened. Just as he was about to speak, his body trembled. His gaze locked onto one figure among the 4. Wang Lin descended to the ground. His eyes swept over the deep pit, then settled on the old man who was staring intently at Tarshan. After a brief pause, Wang Lin spoke calmly. "Long time no see, Senior Yun Kwezi." The old man, Yun Kwezi, was filled with shock. He tore his gaze away from Tarshan, yet a storm raged within his heart. Looking at Wang Lin, he forced a bitter smile. "I merely began cultivating earlier than you. There is no need for senior. Fellow cultivator Wang Lin, is he a member of my Forsaken Immortal clan?" He pointed toward Tarshan. Tarshan's expression was cold indifferent. He did not even glance at Yun Kwezi. "He belongs to the Chosen Immortal clan," Wang Lin said softly, letting out a faint sigh as he stepped into the pit. Tarshan followed in silence. The big-headed boy lingered for a moment, then flashed Yun Kwezi a foolish grin before hurrying after Wang Lin. The instant Yun Kwezi saw that smile, a pressure erupted from the depths of his soul. His face turned pale. The complexity in his expression deepened. Lei Ji followed behind as well. His attitude toward Wang Lin was filled with utmost respect, especially after witnessing Wang Lin's divine abilities changing the spiritual energy of planet Suzaku itself. The shock had not yet faded. He had heard of such techniques before. Only those whose names echoed across the Alliance star system could perform such feats. Yun Kwezi let out a quiet, bitter chuckle. His figure flickered, and he too entered the pit. Wang Lin did not move quickly. He walked slowly through the immortal graveyard. The Forsaken Immortal clan had long since departed. Not a single soul remained. Layer by layer he descended. Memories surfaced. The deepest he had ever reached before was the 11th layer. There he had encountered the 3rd ancestor of the Forsaken Immortal clan. She had hunted him relentlessly, forcing him into desperation until he revealed the scroll sealing the woman from the Xiang family. Only then had he narrowly escaped. From the terror on that ancestor's face, Wang Lin had realized that scroll was somehow connected to the Forsaken Immortal clan. The deeper he went, the darker it became, as though no living being had set foot here for centuries. There was no life, only dense yin energy, thick and suffocating. In the past, such yin energy would have oppressed him. As he descended, it would have eventually forced him to halt, unable to proceed further. But now, this yin energy was insignificant. He did not even need to activate his origin energy. The yin energy seemed almost sentient. It did not dare approach him. Instead, as he moved forward, it gathered ahead of him, forming a vortex as though opening a path. Step by step, Wang Lin advanced deep in thought. The Forsaken Immortal clan and the Chosen Immortal clan. They were clearly the same origin. After witnessing Yun Kwezi's reaction to the big-headed boy, Wang Lin was certain. This clan did not fear celestial spiritual energy from celestial jades. But the moment celestial origin energy appeared, a force would rise from their very souls, compelling submission. The key was celestial origin energy. Thinking of this, Wang Lin felt a trace of bitterness. The celestial origin energy within him had been gifted by Qing Shui. It was not limitless. Every celestial spell he used consumed it, and once exhausted, there would be no more. The celestial spells Qing Shui had passed down summoned the rain. Magical arsenal both demanded immense amounts of celestial origin energy. Without sufficient reserves, he could not even learn them, let alone wield them. This was why Qing Shui had wanted him to enter the celestial pool, why he had given him that energy. Yet the celestial pool carried too many drawbacks. Wang Lin had refused. Now, although he possessed celestial origin, energy methods to replenish it were nearly non-existent. Even absorbing celestial spiritual energy from celestial jades could not restore it. He had even tested it after taking the big-headed boy as his servant. The result was failure. With no other options, he could only conserve it carefully. Not long after Wang Lin arrived once more at the 11th layer. The 11th layer was not vast. Gullies crisscrossed the ground. Within them, red liquid flowed slowly. In Wang Lin's eyes, these streams formed a massive blood-red symbol. The layer was empty. Only the faint sound of flowing liquid echoed. Yunquezi spoke quietly. This is one of the ancestral marks of the Forsaken Immortal clan. There are 19 layers in total. Aside from the earliest ancestors, later generations could only reach the 16th layer. No one has ever entered the final 3. Wang Lin nodded. His divine sense spread outward, locating the entrance to the 12th layer. Without hesitation, he moved. 12th layer, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. With his current cultivation, there was nothing that could obstruct him. He arrived directly at the 16th layer. The ground here was covered in even more intricate blood-red patterns. Just looking at them was enough to confuse the mind. Wang Lin narrowed his eyes. 13 coffins stood silently within the layer. Above each coffin, a tattoo flickered faintly. At the very center lay a black pool. From it, waves of yin energy surged endlessly, filling the entire layer. Red liquid flowed through the patterns, converging into the pool, forming a cycle. Yet something was strange. The red liquid turned black upon entering the pool, and when it flowed out again, it returned to red. "This place is interesting," Wang Lin murmured, stepping closer to the pool. Yunquezi fell silent for a moment before speaking. In the past, only ancestors who had reached the 12-leaf stage could enter this place. These coffins, they should all belong to the ancestors of my Forsaken Immortal clan. He paused, then continued. It is said that the 18th layer contains the origin of our clan. As for the 19th, it is rumored to hold the remnant souls of our first ancestor. He looked at Wang Lin. The boy from the past was gone. In his place stood a cultivator capable of shaking the entire planet with a single step. In these past days, Yunquezi had often wondered, if he had not helped Wang Lin reach the soul formation stage, would this man even exist? "Fellow cultivator Wang," he said softly, "if you can break into the 18th layer, please look upon our past. Allow me to comprehend my ancestors' origin." Wang Lin glanced at him, then nodded. There was a debt between them. Even if Yunquezi had harbored other intentions, the yin energy emanating from the black pool was extremely powerful, and upon it, a seal. From Wang Lin's perspective, even a peak corporeal yang cultivator would struggle to break it. Moreover, the seal required bloodline recognition. Without the blood of the Forsaken Immortal clan, entry would be even more difficult. No wonder no one has entered the 17th layer. Wang Lin murmured, staring at the pool. Such a seal is not something ordinary cultivators can break. He had come here for a reason. It was because of the yellow talisman once used by a member of the Yao family. That talisman had contained a strange power, a power that had completely sealed the strength within his body. Even now the memory was vivid. He still possessed one such talisman. After a brief moment of thought, Wang Lin spoke calmly. "Big head, use your full strength. Display your strongest celestial spell at the pool." The big-headed boy did not hesitate. Celestial origin energy surged within him. A storm erupted. An overwhelming pressure descended. Yunquezi was the first to falter. His body instinctively retreated, his face turning pale. It was as though a force from his soul demanded submission. Refuse and be torn apart. Under that pressure, Yunquezi roared. Veins bulged across his face as he resisted with all his strength. Fortunately, the big-headed boy was not targeting him directly. Otherwise, he would not have endured. As the celestial origin energy circulated, The big-headed boy pointed at his own head. Instantly it swelled to twice its size. Crimson veins burst outward. Then he struck. A devastating force slammed into the pool. A heaven-shaking roar erupted. Ripples spread across the surface as the pool began to rotate slowly. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He saw it clearly. The seal was weakening, but only slightly. Just as the signs of collapse began to fade, Wang Lin moved. 2 fingers formed a sword. Thunder gathered within his eyes. The power of heaven itself converged upon his fingertips. He stepped forward and pointed. Lightning burst forth like dragons roaring toward the pool. A deafening explosion followed. Cracks spread across the 16th layer. Massive yin energy surged out from the fractures. The pool rose into the air. Within the raging thunder, it transformed into a black tattoo. A tattoo so complex, so dense, it defied comprehension. But Wang Lin did not care what it was. He did not seek its approval. He would break it, by force.